Okay. Young Vince, Uncle Vinny. Another versatile vigilante installment for you, March 2021. Already March 2021, man. The year's a quarter over, but with March brings kind of, that spring feel. Summer's around the corner. Brings some hope, I feel. Some more, it opened things up a little more, and you see a few more possibilities with things that you can do. I do, at least. And that's kind of what I want to touch on today. I kind of want to touch on, understanding that there's so many different possibilities that could come up from just doing a simple thing. A few weeks ago, I talked about this film called Buffalo 66. It's by a director named Vincent Gallo. He's a wild guy. Anyone wants to do some research on him, super interesting guy. But basically, he made this film. He produced it, directed it, and he starred in it. I loved it. I thought it was an excellent film. The reason I liked it so much, without giving away any spoilers, I never knew what was going to happen. It was so unpredictable. There was never a time in the movie when I knew what he would do, what his character would do. It was extremely unpredictable. And I loved seeing that, because I feel like that's kind of how life is, where you think you know how something's going to go, and it you can never know. There's so many different possibilities, man. One of my favorite rappers, Currency, he's one of the OG rappers. Check his music out, but I also really fuck with him because he's always dropping these gems. He's always saying some real shit. And he said something the other day, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, yo, sometimes we forget, humans can do some really cool shit. A human made a rocket ship, a human made a Ferrari, a human made anything. All this man-made shit. He's like, a human did that, so we can really do a lot of shit. I feel like sometimes we get kind of stopped in our tracks, like, oh, we have an idea, and then kind of focus on, but what if this happens, what if this happens, what if this happens? And they're typically negatives. Like, what if this negative things happen, what if this negative thing happens, what if this negative thing happens? Bro, what about the positive shit? Like, who knows what an idea can turn into if it's followed through? If you try it, who the fuck knows? It could lead you to many different things that you will never even think of. And an example I like to use is, if you just think of success as one thing, we would be robbed of a lot of great shit, man. A lot of the inventors who invented all these things we use every day, you always hear about how many times they failed, this and that. But the example I really want to use is a sports example. Man, a baseball player, if you're not a baseball fan, stick with me. If you are, it'll be a little easier to follow. But baseball player that hits 300, that means out of every 10 times they're at bat, they get 3 hits. A player that does that for over the span of 15 years is probably going to make the Hall of Fame. If you looked at that without knowing about baseball, you'd say, oh, they didn't get a hit 7 times, they're shit. Nah, the 3 out of 10 is what really matter, bro. It's the hits that matter. The flops don't really matter, man. Who knows what something can turn into? But if you stop doing it, you know what it's gonna turn into. It's gonna turn into nothing. If you stop doing it because you're on a losing streak, where next a couple things you did just didn't hit, I feel like that's not a sign for you to stop. I just feel like it's a sign to maybe take a deep breath, maybe take a little break from something, but don't stop. That's my whole shit. Not to sound too much of a Gary V, but I really do feel that, man. I feel like if you're enjoying doing something but it's not working, you shouldn't stop doing it. If it's eating at you, if you hate doing it, okay, that's a different story. But if you're just stopping because other people aren't understanding, or it's not hitting, I feel like stopping is just like you're not playing the whole game. Like, you're not giving yourself a chance to succeed. You're eliminating a lot of possibilities, man. You hear a lot of stories of how someone started out and where they are now, and you would never think that. And they would tell you that too, but the reason you get there is you stay in the game. If you're in the game, you're going to lose a bunch of times. You're going to get hit. You're going to get fucked up. But you have to try, man. You have to stay. And that's, I think, something that we forget sometimes, especially with COVID. Like, it's been so bleak. sometimes and you feel like, oh man, is this ever gonna end? Like, fuck it, what's the point? Nah, you can never think like that. There's always a point, there's always something that can be done, you know, and it's extremely difficult to do, and it's hard to hear sometimes. It's hard to hear that, no, if I stop, I know nothing good is going to happen. But if I keep going, something might happen because you're not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed anything, man. But that doesn't mean nothing good will happen. It just means you don't know when. It will happen, you just don't know when. So that's really what I wanted to touch on. And I didn't mean to sound like super preachy about this. If I did, whatever. It's my fucking show, you know? But that's kind of what I want to talk about. Like, there's so many possibilities, man. It's never as bleak as you think it is. And yeah, and it's not going to be as easy as you might think it is either. And I feel like if you continue to have a good mindset with that glass half full type mindset, it gives you a better chance to see those possibilities. When you just thinking the world is shit, nothing's gonna happen, then what's the point? You're not seeing clearly, bro. It's just muddy water. If you look at it from a maybe different angle, different perspective, you see that clear water, you see some opportunity out there. There's always opportunity. It just might be hard to find, might be hard to be, you know, to be achieved. No, it for sure will be hard to be achieved, you know? So I just feel like talking about that today because I don't know. I just see so many examples of bullshit. Like the Meghan Markle shit was popping this week. To me, that's just like super irrelevant. Like it doesn't matter at all to anybody. Like besides the people in that family, I don't see how it's relevant to anybody. And people get invested in it, and I get distracted by shit too, bro. Gossip is fun. Like we all engage in that sometimes, but bro, it blinds us. Like it blinds us sometimes. Oh, they're the important ones, let's not focus on what we're doing. Like fuck that, you know. They don't matter to me. That shit doesn't matter to me. All that matters is to me is my world, bro. And I feel like um that's how it has to be. Like bro, there's things you could really achieve, but you can't achieve them if your eye's not on the ball. You know, if you're a baseball player and you're swinging at balls, swinging at pitches out of the zone, you're not doing shit. If you're hitting the ball hard and they're catching it, that means you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. It is what it is. It's gonna come up eventually. But if you're not, if you're focused on the wrong shit, if you're just banging your head against the wall, you know, you have to have your eyes open. It's not, nothing's handed to us. We have to be in the right places. The crazy thing is you never know when that will be. But I feel like the universe does give us some signs, and I feel like if you do keep up what you're trying to do, it'll work. I really feel that way, man. You know, you might fail 100 times, but you hit it one time, it's worth it. That's that Las Vegas mentality, man. It's not about the losses, it's about the wins, bro. Do the wins outweigh the losses? Who cares how many losses there are, man? That's how I feel about it. But yeah, man, I'm gonna keep it really like a short episode today. This was a real freestyle episode. Might have been tough to follow. I honestly didn't have much written down for this shit. I've been trying to plan things out a little bit better, but today I felt like just kind of old school style, fucking go talk some shit. That's pretty much all I have for you, you know? So, long story short, losing streaks, slumps, it's part of the game, bro. We all get down. We all get knocked down, but we have to remember a winning streak's coming if we continue to do our thing, man. If you just lay down, no wins are coming. But if you keep trying, you're gonna fucking prosper. Whenever that might be, who knows, but it will happen. We're gonna prosper. Always strive and prosper. Rest in peace, ASAP Yams, you know. But, you know, we got some cool shit coming up. A lot of cool shit coming up in the next few months, man. The possibilities are endless for everybody if you keep your eye on the ball, eye on the fucking prize. Let's get it, man. Young Vince, Versatile Vigilante. Out of here.